Hello, my name is Thomas Pristach and this is FlowFlighter, a channel for helping you to understand the basics of aviation. For the beginning, let's talk about aircraft structures in general. In the aviation world, there are a lot of aircraft concepts and designs available. Also, a lot of aircraft types come with various configurations in order to fulfill the aircraft's purpose and owner-specific demands. The most basic types of aircraft are like this high-wing Cessna 172 with single-piston engine, which is very suitable, for example, for leisure cross-country flying. Another example could be a twin-engine powered aircraft like this Cessna 340, equipped with a bit more complex electronic equipment and more seats, which provide an opportunity to take more passengers to a specific destination, even when a bad weather is present. Of course, there are even more sophisticated aircraft available in order to carry several passengers to the planned destination in a short time and high style. Such jet aircraft are very suitable for business jet aerotaxi services. First of all, let's talk about the materials from which the aircraft could be made of. We know two basic groups. The first group is the metal structure, the second group is the composite structure. Yes, we know another groups like the wooden structure, but that is not of that importance right now. For example, this aircraft is made of the metal structure. The metal structure is one of the most common type of material structure used. The advantages of the metal structure are the relative simple manufacturing methods used in order to produce such an aircraft, and a considerable cheaper production comparing to another more complex methods. Also, if part of the structure is damaged, it may be repaired easily by replacing the affected parts or by applying common sheet metal repair methods. However, the metal structure has its limitations, for example in its design features, like to construct complex surface shapes. Generally, metal structure parts are manufactured from sheet metal panels which are formed by pressing, bending or cutting technologies and are then riveted together to form assemblies. And this aircraft is made of the composite structure. The aircraft composite structure is generally manufactured using fiberglass, carbon fiber materials, or combination of both. The manufacturing process consists of using proper forms as negatives from which the desired part is produced. Using this technology, advanced surface shapes may be achieved, which may be quite effective for the aerodynamic purposes. Despite of its a bit more complex manufacturing process, interesting results may be achieved even when the costs might be slightly higher. The most important thing is the fuselage. The two-seater aircraft is one of the most common aircraft used and is very suitable, for example, for flight training with student pilot and instructor. A four-seater is generally used for cross-country flying with multiple passengers, for example, as a family trip. This type of aircraft is still relatively small and a pilot with basic qualifications might be able to handle it normally. Bigger aircraft, like this twin-engine Cessna, can carry more passengers, however, some advanced skills are needed to fly the aircraft. Such aircraft is more suitable for air taxi services even in bad weather conditions. The business jets, like this one, are generally used by commercial operators approved for air transportation or are privately operated in order to travel to various regional destinations fast and comfortable. These aircraft are available in various seat configurations up to the several seats depending on the type of aircraft used. Another important thing is the type of the aircraft. Groups divided by the position of the wing with regard to the fuselage. The first aircraft group is the high-wing aircraft, like this one. The high-wing aircraft is widely used in flight schools and for sightseeing flights because of the clear view from the cockpit, seeing the ground below all the time during the flight. The flight is quite stable because of the aerodynamic lift which is generated through the whole range of available wingspan. However, because of this higher stability, the response to controls are a bit lazier. Nevertheless, this type of aircraft is ideal for beginners because of the build-up aircraft stability and easy navigation. So, let's check it out with a civil aircraft which was borrowed from one flight school. As I mentioned before, because of the clear view, pilot may easily track his altitude during the takeoff phase and is more oriented with regard to the runway axis. You may also see that the pilot has a clear view about what is in front of him in case of a sudden forced landing. Because of these features, it makes him a very suitable aircraft type for a flight training. As mentioned before, flying with high-wing aircraft makes navigation a bit easier, however, it has also its disadvantages. For example, when performing turns, the direction of the turn is always covered with the wing and it's slightly more difficult to turn to the desired direction. This fact has to be always considered by the pilot during the flight, and proper techniques should be applied to avoid any potential mistakes resulting in flight to the wrong direction. Also, during the landing phase, has a high-wing aircraft with advantages. Let's speed it up a bit. You can always visually check and adjust your flare altitude in order to avoid undesired altitude gains. Another aircraft group is the low-wing aircraft. The low-wing aircraft has a bit different advantages as the high-wing aircraft. First of all, low-wing aircraft is more sensitive to controls and thus is more controllable. Another advantage is, for example, the generation of ground effect during the landing phase, which creates a so-called air pillow from the airflow below the wings, which makes the landing phase more smoother. Let's go back in time to the beginning of my piloting experience. As you can see, low-wing aircraft are just as good for beginners as the high-wing aircraft. However, an attention should be taken to a bit different issues. For example, during the takeoff phase, in order to visually check your altitude, you need to look instead of looking sideways to the front and to the bit of side because your wing is blocking the direct line of sight to the ground. However, when performing turns, you nicely see the whole area where you are turning, and you can easily find a good orientation spot around which you would like to turn. This is a bit harder to achieve with the high-wing aircraft, because the wing is blocking the path when you turn the aircraft. In the landing phase, it's the same as during the takeoff. You need to get used to the look onto the front and to the side for checking your altitude, instead of looking sideways from the cockpit. But don't worry, you can get used to it quite easily. Another important part of the aircraft is the tail section. The main function of the tail section of the aircraft is to provide longitudinal and lateral stability to the aircraft during the flight. Also, it provides the means to control the aircraft with the elevator and with the rudder. This is, for example, the classical concept with elevator positioned below the rudder. And here, for example, is the T concept of the tail section, which means the elevator is above rudder. Also important aircraft part is the undercarriage. It comes with the main gear and in this case with the tail dragger. Another possibility is to have an aircraft with tricycle gear. The tricycle gear comes with the main wheels in the back and the nose wheel in the front. Our aircraft may have retractable gears, which will be retracted after takeoff for better drag characteristics. However, this type of undercarriage requires a bit more complex systems, which are not always desirable, or the effect of retracting is negligible. Another issue is the type of power plant your aircraft is using. We may have a piston engine equipped, for example, with fixed pitch propeller. Piston engines are most common engine types used widely in training aircraft. Our aircraft may be equipped with a turboprop engine with variable pitch propeller for better performance during the flight. Or, more complex aircraft are generally equipped with a jet engine, in this case a turbofan type. But about engines we will discuss more in the following videos. So, thank you very much for watching this video. Next time we will talk more about our aircraft power plant.